Hey y'all, it's Taylor Bridges here, back with another video, another review of Life After Lockup. This is season 4, episode 44, More Problems. Please y'all like, comment, subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank y'all so much for your comments, for your support, for your subscribes. Thank you so much. Sarah and Sean. Sarah is taking her daughter to meet her dad, Anthony, for the first time. But I was thinking, should this even be on television? I think this is a serious moment for the little girl, Abby. And I don't see why this is being captured for our entertainment per se, especially since everyone but Abby knows that Anthony is her dad. Sarah says she told Abby not to tell Sean about Anthony. And I think that's incredibly harmful and messy to that child. She should know better than to involve an 8-year-old in her marital issues with all of this sneakiness. Anthony pulls up and he's telling Abby, "Nice to meet you." But so when he's shaking her hand, but I thought Sarah said that he'd seen Abby twice already. Because if that was their first time ever meeting, if that's the first time Abby has even seen Anthony, then that's even more of a reason why this shouldn't be on TV, in my opinion. But I think it was fake anyways, because we see it all the time where these people get on TV, do something egregiously horrible behind their partner's backs, but they're on national TV. You know, so it's what goes through a normal person's head to get on TV, be all sneaky and run amok, and then get on, but you're on national TV and it's being captured for your partner to eventually see. So I'm this has to be all fake. But I was thinking, I didn't hear it. Who did Sarah introduce Anthony as to Abby in the moment at the park? Because I can't imagine it makes sense for an 8-year-old why she's at the park playing with a grown man and cameras around. Is he introduced as an uncle, as a friend? I don't know, but Sarah doesn't want to tell Abby about Anthony being her dad yet, because she's waiting to see how consistent and present Anthony is going to be before telling an impressionable 8-year-old, right, that's her dad, because that comes with a load of expectations. And that does make sense, but it also seems kind of messed up to have Abby around her biological dad, spending time with who she thinks is just a random man, not knowing that's her dad. Because what if, God forbid, Anthony passed and they'd been hanging out, spending time together? Abby'd be upset, coming to the realization that she's been spending all this time with this man when she could have been knowingly bonding with the man that's her biological father. My opinion is, if you're going to come this far, having Abby play with the man at the park, you might as well let her know who he is, so she's understanding of the time investment, who she's spending time with, especially since you're open to Abby spending more time with Anthony. That's what I'm saying. What do you, that's not, she knows that's not her friend. It's weird. Tell her who this grown man is that she's having to spend time with and play with. Sean is called multiple times. I don't know why Abby just didn't tell. I don't know why Sarah didn't just tell Sean she was going to take Abby to see her dad. Why make it just this unnecessarily complicated? What's Sean gonna do? What is Sean gonna do? For real. What could Sean do about it? Once Sarah does make it home, pardon me, Sean has a hot tub in the living room and he's looking to have some romantic time with Sarah. He had balloons, he had champagne, he had flowers. He really set the mood and he was putting forth effort, but Sarah was tired. So I can see both sides. I can imagine Sean's disappointment since he did what he thought was showing her he's listening and trying to put forth an effort. But, Sean, sometimes that's how dudes think. It's not like a one-time thing. You don't get to like do all this wrong and then when we tell you what we need from you now, you do it one time on your time, and that's supposed to like just be welcomed. I'm supposed to just drop everything just to give you your pat on the back and do what you want to do. No. Sarah was tired. She's with that baby, a baby. Most of the time, she just went out to the park in the sun with her 8-year-old. She probably is tired. And she doesn't have to be ready when Sean is ready, just because Sarah tried to initiate romance with Sean. He had plenty of times when he wasn't in the mood. So try again another day, Sean. Like, Sean is trying to guilt trip Sarah, but he's wrong. He chalks it up to her not wanting to be with him anymore. And he clocks that something is going on with Sarah, and he's not wrong about that. But I also believe she was just tired and not in the mood for the hot tub. I think she just probably wanted to get some sleep, honestly. Taylor and Chance. Taylor and Chance, they're both sitting with the financial advisor to try to get things in order before the new baby comes, because Chance isn't used to anything. Chance ain't used to anything at all. Chance is making a decent salary at $75,000 with a bonus. He has 7 credit cards and 4 loans. And I'm with Taylor. The math isn't mathing. Chance makes enough money to get the family by for sure. And the love after lockup checks are a nice little cherry on top. So he's mismanaging funds somehow. Taylor mentions how they're 2 months behind on bills and the mortgage, but Chance yet insists on being over the finances and calling Taylor bad with money. Chance is an overspender. He overindulges. He's selfish and he's thoughtless. And on top of that, he's carrying his slow behind to the casino. The man of the household of 3 children and 1 on the way. Taylor, we don't feel bad for you. Then when Taylor expresses her frustration, he flips it on her saying, why doesn't this is why he doesn't tell her anything to begin with. Like, you're pathetic, you're a child, Chance. Bye. But Taylor chose him, and that's what she chose as the head of the household. Her standards are piss poor. And yes, I am harsh on Taylor because she has 3, soon to be 4 lives dependent on her that didn't ask for any of this. Taylor just keeps making poor decision after poor decision, and her daughters are caught in the crossfires, suffering. Like, you got to think outside of yourself for a second, Taylor. Make the best decision for those little girls. They're riding home from the financial advisors, and they continue the argument once they get home. Once Chance hops in the shower, Taylor grabs his phone and starts snooping. Chance has call girls and naked women all on his phone. She checks the phone bill. She sees a particular number that correlated with the name in his phone, Work Jess. He's deleted all the pictures and messages she sent to him by this point. Chance is an idiot. Okay, that's what I can say about him on that. But Taylor starts setting his clothes on fire. And then poor Chance is in his bath towel because he was busy showering, having to run out and see what's going on. No matter what, Taylor is wrong for doing this. Period. For starters, this is what Judge Toller from divorce court calls the stupid tax. You destroying his property and can potentially get arrested for this and have to pay him money to reimburse this clothing. Second of all, if your daughters are home, you are super trifling. You go invade his privacy. You effed around and found out. You searched and found what you were looking for. How can you pop off so violently, destroying his stuff for your daughters to witness? That's not setting a good example. And they shouldn't be seeing adults behave this way. The adults of the household at that. Chance is wrong for talking to other women. Absolutely. Chance is wrong for a lot of things. This is not the first and only instance in which Chance is awful and should not be in Taylor's household or in Taylor's life. But instead of Taylor responding in a manner that can have her pregnant, behind, endangered, and or arrested, taken away from her daughters, having to pay money to reimburse Chance from an already empty wallet. Taylor can't afford to respond this way. She literally can't afford it. How about put Chance out and do bad by yourself? Not make this hellhole worse. Taylor is literally pregnant. It's just not safe. Taylor was dead wrong. And we see often, these scorned women behave this way because they're used to dealing with men that love that toxicity back just as much. But once you get to encountering a dude that's gonna call the police on you and file charges and see to it that you get punished and he stops dealing with you altogether, you'll start to get the picture. It's not cool. It's not right. No matter the gender. Keep your hands to yourself. Stop destroying people's stuff. Lindsay and Blaine, I'm not interested in them. I'm so disinterested. Lindsay fronted people all this money over time, and now she's trying to recollect the money. I don't blame her. I'd get every cent back owed too. But the only thing is, Lindsay probably gave those loans to people in worse conditions than her. So I don't see them having a dime to spare to pay her back. Lindsay says that Blaine doesn't have a plan or motivation. Valid concerns and turnoffs, right? But I don't consider Lindsay even slightly better than Blaine. Too bad, Lindsay. Blaine is who you literally ended your last relationship to be with. When Lindsay spends time with her daughter, Miley Grace, she's taking her to get a purity ring. They're briefly discussing sex and how Miley Grace was conceived and all this other stuff. It's nice that Lindsay is spending time with her daughter like she said she wanted to once she got out. Blaine is talking with his dad about the house arrest deal. He's going to accept it and how he hasn't even told Lindsay about the deal yet. And that's just making things unnecessarily difficult. But she's about to find out in a little bit regardless. I'm trying to care, but I really don't. I don't like Lindsay. She's not interesting. Her storyline isn't interesting. She's just somebody that we just don't need to see anymore. She's played out, just like Brittany and Marcelino. It's done. We've squeezed all that we can get out of this. It's a wrap. It's done. We're not interested anymore. We know all your tricks. Aries and Cameron. Aries' natural hair is so beautiful. She looked so much better with her real hair out while she was getting ready in the house. And then she pops out with this red, Ronald McDonald wig that just cheapened her compared to what she looked like without the wig. Why? Why do you want to do that? But she's back asking Cameron where he's getting his money from, since he says he's going to take care of the house repair costs. That secret money talk is a no-go for me, personally. Transparency is what's at stake here, right? I think Aries should have worn a bra with her orange dress. I think Aries is beautiful, but I think she carries herself sloppily, in my opinion. Especially compared to Cam. Cam keeps himself up really nice. I think Aries is a little sloppy. That's just my opinion. And Aries is beautiful. She doesn't have to be. Aries and Cam are meeting Aries' friend Priscilla, who was a former correctional officer, and Cameron goes to spend time with Lena in the water. Lena is so beautiful. That daughter, Aries' daughter, she's gorgeous. They're spending time together. Aries is telling Priscilla how she doesn't know where Cameron's money is coming from. And I don't think this is something that Aries needs to keep bringing up and going back and forth about. You know what I mean? And either require the transparency or just deal with it. But this is just don't make this a thing. It's not that deep. It's none of our business. Like, it's not even like interesting tea at this point. If he's gonna just keep saying, I do my thing, you know, like, then just leave it alone. Priscilla and then Cameron are now having their one-on-one conversation walking on the water, and he's responding okay initially with plans of taking care of Eris and Lena, but then he's like bragging about never having a job a day in his life, so that's alarming. But overall, he does seem to be determined enough to pull it together and get something legal and steady going. And I think he's a good dude. I think he has decent intentions. I just wonder if he's truly ready for all of this once the cameras are gone. Like a family, a wife, like a child involved, like the responsibilities of like that he's agreeing to take on. Like, it's a lot of pressure for somebody like he's just been locked up. So I'm not saying he can't do it. I just hope like the other shoe doesn't drop and, you know, it turns out like he just was super not ready. Eris' friend Priscilla, she needed to chill out. Like, Cameron is a grown man. Like, stop trying to chastise him and intimidate him. Like Cameron said, he only answers to Eris. He doesn't answer to you, ma'am. Like, pipe down. She was just too aggressive. Like, where's your man? Monique and Derek. Y'all, the fight is now over. I was exasperated last week by all the foolish ghetto behavior. So by this point, I'm indifferent, right? If they want to make fools of themselves on national TV for $400 to $1,000, be my guest, okay? But I'm indifferent. I don't care. Like, whatever. I'm not on anybody's side. Everybody's wrong. It's like not even up for debate. Everybody's wrong on social media. Everybody's doing the most. Everybody's stepped out of bounds. Everybody is doing the most. Like, everybody's embarrassing themselves. Everybody is foolish. Derek's unscathed for the most part after the fight, but his sisters are all disheveled. Their nails were all banged up, and I know that hurt because they were long. But that should have been even more reason not to fight. Like, I won't even mess up my gel manicure. Y'all can't control yourselves that bad. Y'all gonna waste money on a set and have possibly your nail beds ripped up? For what? For who? For Derek's honor? Derek says Monique made things worse by going over to the car when the sisters were getting in the car to leave. And I do agree with him. I think, we saw. They got all the way in the car. And Monique took her behind over there to keep the beef going. Monique and her sisters made it back to the hotel. Monique still thinks she's a victim. Everyone involved is wrong. But that fight could have possibly have been avoided had Monique not followed them to the car. For real. The sisters leave Derek right there in the park. Monique leaves Derek right there in the park. And then Derek has the audacity to question, where was Monique's class and elegance? Those words, class and elegance, are so unbecoming of Derek and anything that he represents. Those words should not even be in his vocabulary, let alone used to judge somebody else. Class and elegance coming from Derek. Justine and Michael. One of Michael's sons is living in the house with Justine, Michael and Justine's kids. So I was like, okay, that's a plus. Because last week I was getting on Michael about not having any of the kids. So he does have one of them. 13 is a critical age. And having his dad in the household is very crucial and I think necessary. Justine says she likes little Mike living in the house with them. And I think that's a great sentiment to have. They do seem to be making steps slowly to have all the kids together in the same house. He's been confined to Pennsylvania and he needs permission from his parole officer to go to Vegas. And so the parole officer does end up granting that to him. So they're going to go to Vegas to visit and scoop it out as a potential place to live. Now that Michael does have some sort of plan at this point, I do like that Michael wants to get out of his normal surrounding. You know, like that he wants to leave where he was doing the trouble and the street walking at. That shows he's trying to do things different and get his family in a stable environment. So I can't hate on that with Mike. He calls his sister to come up there and stay with the kids for 7-8 days. And by kids, it'll be 3/4 Justine kids and 1/4 Michael. Since Michael only has one kid there, she agrees to do it. I don't know why. But she must not have like a conventional job, or he must be paying a big bag, because there's no way, especially with her and Justine haven't really resolved things from that last rift. Like, it seems like time has just passed enough for them to like get over it. And apparently the sister's over it enough to watch Justine's kids, but it just couldn't have been me. Michael is speaking on the phone with his manager, outside, talking to him privately. And the manager isn't like fond of Michael coming to Vegas and doing business with Justine and the wedding ring on. And I think it's ridiculous. I understand the image thing. I get it. But Michael is not, he is not talented enough in the rap game to not be wearing his wedding ring for a rap image. His fans will be just fine. He can keep his ring on. It will not make a difference. I like that Michael defends his marriage. It makes it clear, like, he can't be separated from Justine. And I like that. Mike's sister, Ann, and her wife, Carmen, have arrived. Whether Justine was comfortable with Ann watching the kids or not, she really didn't have many options, you know, to choose from, since they want to jet set for weeks at a time on a whim. Y'all have 7 kids with 8 on the way. Like, y'all need all the help that y'all can get. Michael brings Carmen and Ann with him to a jewelry store, and he's looking for a ring since he didn't give Justine the official proposal while he was in jail. Ann asks if Michael is being influenced by anything in making this decision. And I'm thinking, they're already married at this point, so I don't see how him getting a new ring for her and doing an official proposal from out, like while he's outside prison, is a far-fetched idea, other than the fact that he can't afford it. She asked him if it has anything to do with Justine being pregnant. So that insinuates that she knows, which isn't surprising. And my initial thought was that the mom told her immediately after she found out. I mean, duh, like, Mike told his mom. Of course the mom would tell the daughter. But Ann says she saw the belly and heard Justine's cravings and all that. I think the mama told her and just said, don't say nothing. Don't say anything. Or don't tell anyone what I told you. Ann is telling him that similar to what we've been saying and what he already knows. Like, if she even gets emotional saying it, like, it's just sad for his kids. And she doesn't want them to feel cheated. And I already addressed this very thing on last episode's review. Justine and Michael are going to do exactly what they want to do, despite any advice from the people around them. Because he ends up choosing a $5,000 ring. It's not my style of ring, so I wouldn't like it regardless. I like classic style rings, timeless, simple designs. So this is far from what I like personally, but they all said it was gorgeous, so I'm sure it was gorgeous. He admits that he doesn't, and he admits and he doesn't care that this is not the correct move financially. Y'all have 7 kids and an 8th on the way. So you're going to willingly make a poor financial decision. But of course, because they're conducting themselves like teenagers, as if they don't have a huge family of kids to take care of and feed. But see, with Michael's other kids not being in the household with him as a primary parent to a full house of children, he doesn't feel the severity of their circumstances, I don't think. Because if he does feel it, he's not acting like it. He's planning to replace the money in their bank account before she notices. 19-year-old boy is what Michael is. Like, you know what you could do for his kids? You know what he could do for his kids with $5,000? You know what it could do for all of the kids? What you could do with $5,000 for all of the kids? Why not just put money to the side and save up for the ring? Y'all already married. Like, what's the rush? What's the rush so much that you're being impulsive and irresponsible when you got lives depending on you? She already said yes and accepted what you gave her. There was no reason, absolutely no reason to make the decision at the time like he did in that scene. But the episode was okay. Really, nothing really popped off. It was just okay. But that's cool. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much. And I will check it with y'all at the next video. Bye.